What is the actual number one killer to relationships? And guess what? It has nothing to do with money. So let's go ahead and get into today's video. Jason here, and if you've been watching, you now see me as I'm settling down in Zambia, and I'm walking you through the process as I'm doing things such as getting health insurance, which was shocking. It only cost me like $60 for the year. Getting my driver license, got my NRC, and I'm also on the point of acquiring land and starting up different businesses. So I'm walking you through that process. And on top of that, I'm also sharing with you the things I learned over my 15-year relationship that I had with my late wife, Cece. And so let's dig into today's topic. What is the number one killer to relationships? Now, most people, when they hear that question, they're like, well, of course, it's either money, cheating, or something like that. No, not at all. Those are some of the biggest causes of divorce. But the actual thing that ruined relationships more is what's going to shock you. And if you guessed this, let me know in the comments down below. The number one killer to most relationships is bad mouthing your partner to your family or friends. And now the thing that brought up this video, I was watching a show 90 Day Fiance Happily Ever After. And I think the couple's named Rob and Sophia. Now, this is a couple, I'm going to be completely honest with you. In my opinion, they had no business getting married from the get-go. After I was looking at their story, it was just too toxic. It was too much toxicity, too much lack of communication for one. And there was no trust built in the relationship. Their foundation was rocky, and that's giving it a lot of credit, saying it was a rocky foundation. And so the thing that they showed on this episode that I watched, she keeps bad mouthing and explaining everything that's wrong with the relationship to her mom. So her mom has this perception that he's this horrible guy. He's such a horrible person for her. He doesn't make her happy. And whenever he's with his friends, he's doing the exact same thing. So now his friends are questioning her motives. And this is one of the problems with, especially if you're dealing with a relationship that comes from overseas, two different countries, and you're trying to blend it together. If you're coming from the American side, most Americans, because they don't travel, they really have this wrong belief that, oh, America's the dream. Everybody wants to get to America. Let me just say this, guys. As someone who's been traveling, been to multiple continents, live in multiple countries on multiple continents, majority of the people do not want to come to America. That is a very small number. Yes, some people do believe America is this American dream. Most people do have some understanding that America is not one of the best countries to go to. And let me just say this also. America does not mean the United States only. People forget, like, Canada is a part of North America. You have Central America and you have South America. So all of those countries, or all of those different areas within that part of the hemisphere, is the Americas. Most people do not want to go to the United States. Yes, there's more job opportunities in the United States. However, things are more expensive and the quality of life is nowhere near what you can get outside the United States. I'm going to be honest with you. Living from Panama, Colombia, I lived in South Korea, and being here now in Africa, between South Africa, Botswana, and Zambia, every country I've been to have a better quality of living than the United States. Like I said in the intro, I pay $60 for my health insurance for the entire year. How much are you paying for health insurance in the United States? And I don't have any premiums I have to pay when I go see the doctor or go see the dentist. That includes everything. So just to let people know, 'cause a lot of people have this misjudgment that in the United States that, oh, we're the best country. You're not the best country. You're not even in the top 50, if you want my honest opinion. And so because of that, him bad mouthing her to his friends, she's bad mouthing him to her mom. They're just getting negative reinforcement every time there's something positive that they're trying to do. And in this episode, they were showing they're trying to reconcile. They're trying to reconcile the relationship. They want to see if the marriage can work out. But the truth is, it's impossible now. No matter what he does, her mom is going to see him as this evil villain. No matter what she does, his friends are nitpicking every single thing. They're like, hey, are you sure she's just not trying to get back with you just so she can keep the visa? all of these different things. And they don't even realize most people from the UK don't need a marriage visa to be in the United States. It's not as difficult for them. And so that's why I wanted to talk about this today. I want to talk about it from the perspective of how Cece and I handled our relationship until the day that she passed away. When you're in a relationship, you only have one person that you can speak negatively to about your partner. That one person is your partner. No one else should know any issues that's going on in your relationship. It shouldn't be on Facebook. It shouldn't be on Instagram. It don't need to be on TikTok, Twitter. It don't need to be on YouTube. That is not anyone's business. The more people you let inside your relationship, especially when they're knowing the bad things about it, they're going to create wedges between you and your partner. And it's easy for you to recall bad memories than happy memories. All of us have been programmed this way. Like, it's very hard for us to actually remember happy memories of a lot of things that happen in our life, especially from a day-to-day basis. But we can go and remember things that happened negative from years ago, and we can bring them up vividly. And because that is how the way we've been programmed to recall memories, you cannot let anyone into the negativity of your relationship. Now, let me please caveat that with this one thing. I'm talking about happy, healthy relationships. I am not speaking about abusive relationships. If you're in a relationship with someone who is abusive, you need to let people know. You need to get out of there as safely as possible, and even very fast if there are children involved, so they do not get programmed with that type of thing of thinking that is a normal way to love one another. There's nothing normal about abuse. There's no reason for a man or woman to ever put their hands on the opposite person or same sex if they're in a same sex relationship. I just want to be very clear about that. Abuse is abuse, and there's no tolerance. There should always be a zero tolerance for abuse. That is physical and emotional abuse. None of those things are right. And so that is not what I'm talking about when I'm saying keep people out of your relationship. I'm talking about the day-to-day stresses, maybe the argument over finances, maybe maybe he or she did something that wrong that kind of upset you. Because this is the thing about a relationship that no one teaches us. It's not a fairy tale. Just because you go and sign that marriage document, it does not mean it's happily ever after. You have to work to build that happily ever after. You have to work to build that fairy tale each and every day. And if this is your first time actually ever living with someone, you're going to find out very quick how much you get on each other's nerve. We all have our own things that we do on a day-to-day basis. We have our routines, and bringing someone in, you have to learn how to balance that routine together. And this is where people don't talk about this in relationships. I think maybe the only time you hear things like this is in cultures that do arranged marriages, because then the extended family is a big part of the marriage because they're helping you both to build that bond. But for normal everyday relationships, no one's out there teaching you. I can say for me, I didn't see happy, healthy relationships. I saw a lot of toxic relationships. And from that toxicity, the way my brain analyzes things, it just taught me things that I did not want to have. And it helped put my boundaries or my zero tolerances, things that I wouldn't allow in my relationship. Now, one of the things that Cece and I did when we first started the dating each other, and I was doing the courting with her, we talked about these things from the get-go. Like, hey, do you want to have kids? Are you okay with traveling? How attached are you to your family? Like, that's something that means a lot to me. Like, I don't want my family in my business, and I don't want your family in my business. Our relationship is us. Like, if we need guidance on some things, we can ask them some questions. But at the end of the day, let's figure this out. And if we really need help that bad, let's go to some professionals. And that was one of the things we asked, like, are you willing to do therapy if therapy is needed for certain things? And we both said yes. And because our answers aligned up to our questions, we went into our relationship with, once we get married, divorce isn't an option, because we knew there's not going to be abuse. There's no alcoholism. There's no drug use. Like, we covered all of those boundaries. And we knew because those things weren't going to be there. Okay, we're both a suitable candidate for each other. Now let's do this relationship and work it out. Was there tough times in our relationship? Yes, of course. There were times we got on each other's nerves. I knew I got on her nerves a lot of times. I'm not going to lie to you. And there was times I came up short as a man in our relationship also. But she still uplifted me. And she did not go and badmouth me to her friends or badmouth me to her family. And because of that, even to this day, I have a very close bond with my sisters. My youngest sister the most, because me and her talk a lot on Instagram and we talk a lot of trash to each other. But like, that is what it takes to build a happy, healthy relationship. You have to secure the relationship between you two. Now, you may be asking, okay, Jason, so how was it okay for Cece to just start coming up to you to tell you the things she didn't like about what you do? If you see any of my videos when I'm talking about relationships, one of the things I always say, you must create a safe word for the relationship to bring up serious issues. Because if you bring up serious issues and you just throw it on a person all at once, they're going to feel attacked. It's natural human nature of fight or flight. And we have to understand, if you want to disable the fight or flight mechanism or the freeze mechanism, people forget about that. Most people freeze also. You fight, flight, or you freeze. If you want to disable those mechanisms within us, you must create a neutral playground. And what I mean by neutral playground is just like a car shifter. You're shifting it down from drive to neutral. So the car is just coasting. It's just coasting. And what that is when you create using the safe word and you create that neutral playground, it's telling your brain like, hey, there's something serious we need to discuss. This isn't about being attacked. This isn't saying you want to leave me. This isn't saying anything where I need to come and respond from a fear-based place. It's a criticism place. It's an analysis place. It's a place of, how can I be better to make this person feel better or be better also? And so that is why I will always recommend you need to have a safe word in your relationship. And on top of that, having a safe word, you need to have a set time for family discussions. You never let a day go by with, not a day, but you never let a week pass without having a family discussion. The way that it worked for us, we did it every Sunday. Every Sunday around noon, we would have our family discussion. We would come with our notebooks. We would play some music first. We would have a little dance off session to enlighten the mood. You don't want to go in there all, You don't want to go into these things angry. Life is stressful. I'm telling you right now, life is stressful. I don't care what country you're born in. I don't care if you're a man or woman. I don't care if you're black, white, Mexican, Asian, whatever your background is, life is stressful. So you have to do everything possible to make your relationship least stressful as possible. So you want to go into these family meetings and you want to go in with the energy a certain way. You're priming yourself. And so what we would do, we would listen to about 5 different songs, some Beyonce that she loved, some of my little trap music that I love. And then we would just have a dance off, just dancing it out, just moving around, laughing. And then we would go into the family discussion, open up our notebooks. What were the topics that we felt that were most important for each of us for this week? And then we would talk about it and then write notes and come to a conclusion together. Now, this may sound crazy, but I was in a happy, healthy relationship, guys. The only reason I'm single is because she passed away. And if she was still here today, she would still be here right by me. I wouldn't even be doing this video, to be honest with you, because I'll be focused on making my relationship even happier and healthier. And so really try these 2 things in your relationship. Now, I know most of my channel, I get more women that watch me. Ask your husband or your partner to sit down and watch too. You will be surprised, even if he's not actively watching, just keep letting him listen. You'll be surprised at things that kick in and then he'll be like, yeah, I kind of agree with that. That's how Cece worked with a lot of things on me. She would just let me listen to it in the background. She wouldn't bother me if I'm playing a video game, like, put the game down, you need to do this. She'd be like, hey, I'm just going to listen to this. Is it okay if I cut it up a little louder so I can hear it. I'll be like, yeah, cut it up. I'll cut the game down. I don't need it. And you'll be surprised how much your partner is actually listening more than you. And then you'll be really shocked at things that they're taking away from it that you may have not taken away from it. And so one of the things that I really believe in, love is fundamental. Love is something that most of us want to truly share and give in this world. And it's very possible. I'm not going to be over here acting like some of these pickup artists. You need to do this, spit this game to this girl. You need to act this kind. No, that's stupid. Just be a human being. Be someone who shares compassion. Be someone that is genuinely interested in the partner that you want to be with. And you'll start seeing the happiness that you really want is right in front of you. Like so many people are selling gloom and doom because it's easy to sell fear out here. It's easy to tell someone, oh, all black women are trash. All Western women are modern and they don't need this or that. Who wants a woman that all she can provide is cooking and cleaning? Let's be honest here. So many people keep saying these things, but who want that? Do you know how expensive it is to live out here now? Life is not getting cheaper. We're not going to ever go back to the 1940s or 30s where 500 US dollars was enough money to live off of. It's never coming back. It's only going to keep getting more and more expensive as technology advances. So you probably need a partner who's going to be working. You probably need a partner who can help relieve some of the stress of certain bills. You're going to need a partner who has financial responsibility. So we need to start talking about those things. How do you build the happy relationship instead of saying, oh, this person should be doing this, this, or this, or this? What are you doing? And that is how you start building a happy, healthy relationship. It's focusing on you from within, because you can only reflect who you are on the inside to the person that you love. And this is one of the things that I wish I would have learned from day one. I wish I would have seen someone doing videos to teach me this as a man, that as I'm loving myself more, I can love my partner more. Because unfortunately, it took me about 6-7 years in the game of being with Cece before I truly was able to love her at a way where I felt I was giving her genuine love, genuine support, and really being a better husband for her. And so I just wanted to share that with you. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below in the video and I will be getting back to them. And most importantly, just remember this: success is simple once you know how.